Hey everybody, it's the Nitty Professor, and I finally finished another sweater, which I wanted to share with you. And hello Paris, excuse me Paris, I'm gonna build this as another example of creative color work and walk you a little bit through my process as I sort of put this sweater together. So kind of give you a look at it while we listen to cars go by in the rain and watch a cat. Hey Paris. Hi. She's very friendly. I'm gonna put this in front of you, girl. So we've got a cat butt. So we'll start with the bottom. I have 2x2 rib, followed by a stripe, and then a row of, I'm gonna call them little lions, and then another flower, and then dachshunds, and another stripe, some leaves, and then moving towards the top we have bunnies because I was working on this in April, more flowers, and then the roll top collar. So I'm very pleased with how this turned out, and let's start with the yarn. So I did a video a few months ago where I went through some of my stash, and I asked the question, what could I make with the yarn that I have on hand? So this yarn, I'm just going to kind of give this a little platform here. This yarn is sort of a combination of what the French would call trouvailles, or items that I found in various places. So some of this is, you can see it's marked down. All of this is Lamb's Pride. So there is a woman out of Sioux Falls who sells this Lamb's Pride worsted. It's from brown sheep, discounted because it's seconds, and it might have knots in it, you know, or a thread that was cut, for example. You're going to find that in the skeins. But you know, when you consider 100 grams of beautiful worsted weight yarn for $5, why, the sacrifice is small. Hey Paris. This is 85% wool and 15% mohair. It's made in Mitchell, Nebraska. I love using this yarn. It's pretty easy to get around these parts because it's just one state over. And here's another example of the same yarn. And this particular skein, hi Paris, is interesting. It's only $4.50, as you can see. I love this lemon yellow color. Still have a little bit left. I almost feel like this yarn is just a tad thinner. So, you know, I don't know if that's part of the reason why it's a second, but it worked fine in the sweater project. Yeah, they're going down again. Paris is very friendly. She's again, to use another French word, elle veut être vedette. I'm combining German and French. That's stupid. Now, vedette, she wants to be a star. So this yarn, in fact, these three, I'm pretty sure these all are of the same provenance. If you are from the upper Midwest, you might want to consider going to Bemidji, Minnesota. They have the Bemidji woolen mills. In fact, it might be fun to go through some old photos and do a little video about my son and my tour there, because they produce woolen clothing right there on site. And they have all this, you know, sewing and spinning equipment and this kind of thing. But they had this whole sort of room off to the side when you go in that is dedicated to brown sheep. And they even had some wool for spinning and felting, which was kind of interesting. But they just had rack after rack of this brown sheep yarn. So let me just give you the colors in case you're interested. This yellow is called Sun Yellow. The orange is called Orange Dreamsicle. I think that's very appropriate. This teal color is called Jaded Dreams. Kind of like that name for it. And the lighter variant, see if I can find the name on this one. It's a little bit rubbed off. Something about depths. I don't know, maybe you can make it out. I don't know if I have any other skeins. But in any case, the second word of the color name is depths. And this blue jean color, is called Misty Blue. Well, now we have another Siamese. This is like cat traffic. Go on. So Misty Blue, it's like a denim. I really like this color a lot. And I have more skeins of this one. Then I have two interesting skeins that I use for some of the details, and I can show you. For example, the collar, you can see this is a variegated. This is not just a single tone. That's because a woman actually a German woman in Elbert, Colorado. She's originally from Berlin, but she's been in Elbert, Colorado at the Woolly Works knit shop for quite some time. That shop is a treasure. I did a video on that last fall. Hope to get there again. I keep encouraging my son to move back to the Springs so I can go and be a part of the community that I think her name is Edie, that she has at that yarn store. So this is Brown Sheep Lamb's Pride, and I don't know what the base color is, but she overdyed it, and she is calling the color Antarctica. So yeah, it was really interesting to discuss with her process. And then I used just a little bit of this skein. This one, I have another whole skein, so it has the label on it. Buddha. Hey, you're not helping me. Go over there. This color, well, heck, this is called I must have these. I must have the wrong label because this one says Antarctica too. Yeah, I don't know. The label might be gone. If you really want to know the color of the blue, tell me and I will try to find it for you. But in any case, I used these two overdyed skeins of Lamb's Pride worsted. I can look in, this is the bag where my sweater lived. I don't know if I still have the label for the blue in here, but I will take a quick check. But I have so much of this, I could just about make another sweater out of it. And another ball of the green. Let me see. And a note, so I did a swatch and that's what I came up with. I need to do 190 stitches in the round for a bottom up yoke sweater. Let me see here. Aha! I found it. The blue color is Easter eggs. Easter eggs. So that's this one, Easter eggs. That kind of fits. Look at that. Easter eggs. So yeah, that's so multiple origins of this yarn, and I had just sort of ended up accumulating it. In fact, these three colors I'd kind of wanted to combine with like another blue, I've forgotten now. And I don't know, once I started, I got all my Lamb's Pride. I still have a lot more because the Sioux Falls lady, you see, I'm like, well, I could do a sweater's quantity and I'll get some brown and some orange and some yellow. Well, I used the orange and the yellow with the blue. So now I've got a lot of brown and I have this other blue. I don't know, maybe the brown would look good with the blue. I think actually brown might look cool with this. Well, I may have to do some scheming. So, because, I come into this yarn and sometimes it's on a lark or a whim and I have a vague idea, but then I get bored with that, and so I have to reach for another idea because I'm the kind of knitter who just wants to have fun. Life is a mess lately, and there's so much in the news that I just don't want to know about. And then I'm like, where are my knitting needles, right? So, but as far as how did I design this, right? Because actually I think the design's pretty good. Looks nice, right? The color combination worked out. I'm really pleased with that. It's very unique. You're not going to see that anywhere else. I made a Ridari sweater a few years back, and it fits me beautifully, and I just love it. The same yarn, Lamb's Pride. I did it in pink and yellow, did a video on that a while back. You can always do it again if you're interested. I don't mind. And I liked making it. I figured out how to make it, bottom up, yoke, all, kind of like this was the first sweater I ever knit, actually. Yoke up. This one, I'm trying to remember the name of it. I did a video on it a while back. But the Ridari is a pattern that works for me. It has like short row shaping in the back, and the proportions are very good. I do like this roll neck collar, which I also have on the sweater that I have on. So that's where I got the basic design. Now, as far as the patterning on it, obviously I didn't do the Ridardi patterning, so there's nothing Icelandic about this. So I was inspired. I picked up this book in Trondheim. I was there researching for my novel because I have a family in there from Trondheim, and they're like in every volume. So I'm like, I've got to go there and, you know, get to know their origins. I'm thinking about going back. I had so much fun. So I bought this book. I don't know Norwegian, but it doesn't matter because I can still be inspired by the patterns in this book. The author is Una Cecilia, and the colors in here are to die for. There was this display, there's this shop that sells, in German we would say Trachten, Norwegian folk costumes that they use on their national holiday in May. I think it's called Bunda. And I'm not going to remember the name of the store during the video, I'm afraid. But I might be able to write it down. If you're from Norway, you know what I'm talking about. So they have yarn along with these traditional costumes. Beautiful store, beautiful, beautiful. And they had this display with this book and all the different colors of yarn that are used in it. I've forgotten even if the yarn was from Homa. I'm not sure what brand it was. Actually, I could probably look it up in here because I might be able to find the brand of yarn. But aren't these just succulent? I mean, the colors of these sweaters are to die for. This is not a construction I'm familiar with. I'm not even sure. Is that raglan? I'm not even sure. It's like inset sleeves. I've never tried it. I should. This is all Norwegian, so I probably won't try it based on the instructions that I'm looking at here, because guess what? I would get lost. But the models are obviously very inspiring, and you know, I can read patterns and I can also adapt patterns. So I wasn't afraid whatsoever to pick up this book. Here's another lovely, this is more of a lace pattern sweater. Just lovely. I could adapt that easily. Hello Paris. Paris is back. I think that actually is raglan. So let's see here. Look out. Hillesvåg. That's the yarn. Hillesvåg. I'll show you. That is the brand. So this word right there, Hillesvåg. That's the brand of yarn that they had in these stores that I can't remember the name of. Ah, now I can remember the name. Because guess what? It's on the back of the book. Husfliden. Husfliden, and I think there are multiple Husfliden stores throughout Norway in the bigger cities. So they had this gorgeous display at Husfliden of the yarns that are used with these beautiful spring colored sweaters. And the one that I sort of use, again, I just use as inspiration. I think she's got it in here in a couple of different colors. And it looks like I came up with this scheme, right? You probably do this kind of thing too. I don't keep a yarn journal, a knitting journal. I think it might be fun, but I'm so busy writing fiction that I'm like, no, I don't have time. So I haven't even updated my Ravelry account I've made like 14 or 15 sweaters, and I think I have all of 2 of them in there, which is shameful. So hopefully soon, because a few of you have asked how to find me there, and I agree I should actually update it. Beautiful colors on that one, but if memory serves, I think there's another version of the same sweater. So you can see where I got my ideas, right? I was like, okay, she's got ribbing, she's got a stripe, she's got some flowery diamondy things, and then some smaller flowery things, and then more diamondy things. So that was kind of like the basic sketch of the design that I wanted to have going up. Obviously, the scale of my patterns is different, and I used animals for the wider bands, and I think I started out I was like, yeah, those are double stripes. So I did a 2-row stripe there. See that, baby? But then I like kind of forgot. So here it's just 1 row. And then from there on out, the stripes are 1 row. Until I kind of played around with the top there, and I was like, well, we're just going to use some of that pretty yarn from Albert, Colorado. So I did both colors, and I think it works, right? It works. Like this green picks up on the teal, and the blue picks up. It's just, you know, it works. I mean, this is just the wonder and the fun of making it up as you go along. So literally, for when I got to the yoke, I was like, well, what am I going to do now? Obviously, so I'm following the proportions, right? The numbers of the decreases for the yoke from the Ridari pattern because it worked, the same yarn. But I had to count, obviously, to adapt that to, on the one hand, I decided to use bunnies, and I didn't have any bunnies in the book I was using for my inspiration for the animal motifs, because I'm still not quite creative enough. Let's say I lack the creative energy to make my own damn little animal patterns. So I had to find them, right? So, Paris, you're not an animal pattern. You're just an animal. So you're going to go over here. She's not too happy about it. She's looking at Budapest and she doesn't like her. So I found these bunnies. I think they might have been on Pinterest. I looked for bunny patterns, and I think I did a German video, and I was like, what do y'all think? Which I had like 3 or 4 patterns I held up, and I think the consensus was that this one was a good one. I actually made a mistake on it, but then I just copied it for each bunny, so it doesn't matter. They still look like bunnies. Hi. Paris. She needs attention, don't you? Huh? You need attention. Meow. I know. Go play with Gorlami. So yeah, I think they work out. I think they're adorable bunnies, and they just work beautifully. So that gives you an idea of the overall design as far as the other animal motifs. I stole those from this book by Mary Jane Mucklestone, 150 Scandinavian Motifs, The Knitter's Directory. I highly recommend this book. Give you a little taste of what's in here. If you like color work, I think this is one of the most to be recommended directories that you could have in your library. I'll just try to give you a taste. Here's a taste. We have everything from snowflakes to flowers to animals. There are a lot of birds in here, and there's some lore about them, some instructions, some inspiration, hints, color, ideas for color. Here's some more. I like the kitty cats. I've used the goats in another sweater. They're like folk dolls. A lot of deer, because this is Scandinavian, obviously. And heck, I have them in my backyard, so I need to celebrate those deer. And then, so she's got, you know, how the motifs look knit up. And then she has the charts for all of them. And everything is cross-referenced beautifully. So, and, you know, I'll take some of these patterns and I'll modify them. But this is where I got the flowers, the dogs, and the lions. And I kind of played with it. You know, I could have done just orange lions, but there was one version in the book that had the stripe going down the middle. I was like, okay, I'll try that. So I did. But with the dogs, I just kept it one color. And I think they're so cute. I don't know if they're dachshunds or poodles, but they look really cute. And the flowers, I just had fun. I tried to just sort of balance the colors out, you know, so that they were sort of evenly spread over the course of the sweater. Now, the sock yarn sweater that I'm knitting on currently is just, the colors are just like wild. This one, I really wanted it to be balanced and harmonious. So, you know, it's fun to experiment and to feel like you somebody has a nice exhaust on their truck out there, to feel like you can play. Really, I think that's the bottom line. I wanted to be able to play, and I think this is a good example of the kind of play that I personally like to engage in. So I'd be curious how you go about, because I know a lot of you also are very inventive in the way that you pursue colorwork knits. And I'm also tried and true, right? This is probably the 6th or 7th bottom-up sweater that I've made, maybe the 8th, I don't know. I have one that I steeked, I made one as a Henley, but anymore, it's just so relaxing to say, oh, I know how to make that. Just figure out, do a swatch and figure out how big I need to make it, and then just take it from there. So I do need to learn cables. A friend of mine gave me a book of Viking-inspired knits, which is really cool. It's just cables left and right. And a lot of the inspiration is from Gothic motifs and Romanesque motifs on like stonework and stuff, and filigree and gold from Viking-type cultural artifacts. I need to learn how to do cables. A lot of you have encouraged me, and I appreciate that. I have all the tools. I just need the mental energy, because I'm still taking graduate courses, and My dog is still not well, so we're relaxing a lot over here. But this was a fun project to finish. I will say, I must have had well over 100 ends to weave in, and that job alone probably took 7 hours to get all the ends, loose ends, woven in. But I did it, and it involved 2 stints at the Fiber Guild meeting and just sitting and talking with my fellow knitters. And I can show you the inside. There's Paris. So you'll have an idea of what it looks like on the inside. I will admit my sleeves came out just a bit tight, partly because of the color work. I think I should have done the increases more frequently. But here's a view of the inside of one of the sleeves. Pretty even. I've gotten pretty good at manipulating the floats so that they come out evenly, and there isn't, a whole lot of buckling and wrinkling. I do find that when I use the DPNs on my sleeves, that sometimes I knit too tight, and I'm still kind of struggling with that, but overall, Paris. She just wants to be in the movie. Get this fold out. But anyhow, it looks pretty on the inside too. I mean, I've seen sweater patterns where they're sort of designed to be worn, shall we say, inside out. But I think my techniques are getting pretty good. Still, have a little work to do, right, Paris? But, oh, she wants the cat bed. It's her cat. But overall, I'm really, really happy with this sweater. And if you have any recent adventures in colorwork knitting that you'd love to share with us, I think it'd be really cool. Include a picture or whatever. And any inspiration you have as far as like going about the more inventive side of things, or if you just like to find really cool patterns and follow them slavishly. I do a lot of that too. So, but what with having a decent stash of yarn, there are times when I'm like, I need to work through some of the yarn that I've been gifted. And it seems like over the years, like I'm the knitter and on campus, and if somebody has yarn that they want to unload, they're like, are you interested in my yarn? I'm like, sure, so it's a fun challenge to try to figure out how to make use of whatever colors I have in a way that ends up being a nice garment that Paris likes to lie on. So that's what I have for today. I appreciate your tuning in, and if you have any questions, let me know. I'm excited to see the new subscribers. Thank you, really appreciate it. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you. And if you have any ideas for topics, let me know. I've got some books I'm reading. So we'll see you in the next video. Y'all take care and have a great rest of your week. Bye.